Okay, giving this a test out to see if it works. I figured I'd play this game enough that it'd be nice to have an archive of like some of the games I played. Maybe my 80-year-old self will enjoy watching these videos. As long as we can find a partner. And here we go. Mark Pitt. Interesting that he doesn't have a undertext, but much like myself, I kind of like to feint that to not telegraph that I'm a long-time player. I don't know if I can really trust a mana ramp on this one. Sometimes you can grab a mana from the Gia's Blessing, so I will give it a try, but this could go not well. I love these lands because if you get them out first, you didn't have anything to cast anyway, so the tap doesn't cost you anything, and then you get a dual land. Oh, there's my land. Sweet. So I can cast Gia's Blessing and then the Clifftop Lookout next turn. It's got double strikeout, though. That's going to accelerate us getting into trouble. It's probably going to enchant it or put equipment on it. But we do have the 5 mana to get the Brash Taunter out. This is going to take some time. I don't know if we'll get that time, but we'll see. Scryland. I can't put this. It's a slow land. Ding. Alright, I have to do this because I have to get the Clifftop Lookout. But that means it's going to be 2 turns to the Brash Taunter because of my slow land. I can get the Barb Servitor out next turn, though. I don't have the white mana, interestingly enough, to put out. I know he's going to increase it or whatever, but it's good to not only not take damage, but like force them to use their spell. You don't want them just like sitting there with these spells in their hands if you can avoid it, because not only can they do massive damage, but let's get our scry here. Another land, we'll take it. Go ahead and put the poison dart out. Now with an extra land, I can block. Because it won't really hurt us in the long game, and then we can get the Brash Taunter out next turn. So, yep, so we'll see if we can force him to use another spell, one that probably is going to boost. Well, he's not going to bother using it, so that's alright. Guess he didn't have to, so I should have saw that coming. Double Striking Flyer. Alright, so at least we can get the Brash Taunter out. He's got a flyer we can do nothing about. This could be problematic, so we're on the ropes here a little bit. We either need a white mana or enchantment that I'm looking for. Oh wait, this is that really weird one. Gain that much life, and then at the beginning of your end step, if you have 15 more life. So, what can we do with this? I think what I'm going to do is leave my mana to, oh, he's going to be a smartass. I could do this stuff all day long when someone's a jerk. The fun part of this is when they get snooty, and then you're able to pull off the win as well. So what I can do is I can block his Blade Master with the Brash Taunter, and then leave some mana untapped to hit the Angel of Destiny, and then he won't really gain life anymore. I'm just gonna mute him at this point and just try to beat him. You know, I mean, I realize it's a game that you want players to continue, you know, with their part, but you know, I mean, I took what 10 seconds, and he's already on my case. Surprise. So he's still gaining on us, but at least we, you know, are slowing him down a bit so he doesn't get to that 15 life. And oh gosh, at this point, I really need a white mana because I sort of am forced not to play anything to keep mana untapped to use the Brash Taunter, and I could almost end game with this single enchantment and getting the Secret out. So that's one of the weaknesses of the deck is I'm a little light on white mana. So if I get a white mana, we're going to turn things around real quick. And this could help. It's still going to leave us the ability to use the Brash Taunter. And give us a white mana, please. Oh man, of course not. But can also block one more turn of the Angel of Destiny. I don't really, well, I guess I do kind of care about that, but let's see. So let's do this. We're going to block the Angel. And then we're going to ping the dragon. Doesn't matter, I don't care about doing damage, I just want to take the damage to the Brash Taunter. So he's -3 for the turn. Oh, interesting. What happened there? I'm going to have to play that back. But as long as he can't remove an enchantment, we are now in lockdown mode. So it's either got to block or take damage, takes 2. This is kind of all leading towards helping us with the win here. Let's see what happens. I've never seen this part, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so he can't win, but he's not taking damage. Interesting. Decline. Let's get some more beef out. Okay. So we're starting to turn the tide here. I got a lot of redirect damage, but he's got this weird artifact out that like prevents damage unless I pay for it. Since I'm tapped out, and this is okay because I can throw these out all day long. And you know, any creature that he puts out that doesn't do anything special is also not a concern at this point. I don't need the extra mana, so let's go ahead and pay. So that's 3 damage right there. Oh, 1 damage. We're going to decline that one. We're going to pay for the 3 damage that's coming up here. Exile card from a graveyard. Destroy target enchantment. He can't do it. Anyway, he's going to mute him because he's just got some kind of spam button thingy going on. So we don't really need the extra mana, so I'm just going to go ahead and attack. Okay, and same thing, we're just going to I love doing this kind of a delay because I know it's driving them crazy too for being an idiot. Oh, I forgot to fight with the Brash Taunter last turn. Alright, I'm going to give myself a reminder now so I can fight with the Brash Taunter. See if I can maybe ping some of these. Could warriors have double strike? Alright, so let's try this. Now we're completely locked down as far as hexproof goes, unless he's got an instant. And let's do this. So we're gonna really now that we're completely invulnerable to removal, unless he's got a board wipe. We're just gonna completely run the board now. Now he's got Death Touch. Can't do damage though, so can't pay for the 1 point of damage. Just kind of whittling him down. Whoops. Kind of screwed that up. Oh well. It's a confusing game. This is where I wouldn't win tournaments because I am not paying for the. Let's just get another mana out there. Since mana is what we're needing. Looks like maybe next turn I can get the Phyrexian out. Alright, they finally gave up because they had a board wipe, which, I mean, in my opinion, it's just... if you can't build a good enough deck that you have to reset the board, like, just... I wish you could somehow skip players that do board wipes. It makes the game super boring. And he couldn't face the fact that I was locked down even though they board wiped, so they just quit. So, I mean, I think that game gave away a lot of the opponent's character. Spamming on the mic, and then doing a board wipe, and then quitting when it didn't go their way. So, that's why I build these decks, in all honesty, because people like that just are really annoying with their play styles. Okay, thank goodness the Scry let us bypass the Gia's Blessing. That's only valuable if opponent's trying to mill you. But we got a little bit of a mana ramp going on here. This is a good deck. We actually got Sigrada, Brash Taunter, and the Chosen, which is basically what powers this deck. We're also missing the white mana though, so I'm gonna have to play the Frog. Let's see what's coming. A basic land, a big creature, and then drawing. Not too worried about that, but let's get the Frog out for our white mana. Get the Springs out, and that's all we can do. I love the Frog because now we get a a blocker that can also block flying, and it's not a creature we really need to keep in play, so we can prevent some damage. I like the Frog too because you can give it Death Touch. In this case, I can't use it because I absolutely need a white mana. But let's get Sigrada out there first. If they don't have removal, this just really helps so your Goblin or your Chosen don't get pinged as soon as you put it in play. So Sigrada kind of... Yep, here we go. Ooh, actually, wait. Dang. Kind of sucks, but if all they're going to do is damage, this is actually, like, this whole deck is built on damage absorption. So I'm not too worried. Not yet. I don't like the Goblin being exposed, though, especially because they got white mana. It means they can exile. Also, disenchant. Just gonna put another Goblin out. We got enough spells, we can kind of get this rolling. Just be patient. Sometimes I get impatient. If he's got... this is terrible, actually. It depends on what he gets. Oh, that's terrible. But... Not a big fan of this card. I think it's super overpowered. I mean, 7 mana is a lot, but basically, you know, that 7 mana plus 11, oh, plus another 7 mana. So that was for 7 mana, they just casted 21 mana worth of spells. But as long as I can keep these things in play, as long as I can keep this damage redirect in play, I'm still safe, believe it or not. Because I think in order to do the poison counters... Oh, perfect. I hope that they exercise that. The Terror of the Peaks is a good creature, but when you're... Alright, so here we go. We're going to get insurance out there. I am going to leave. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next turn I can maybe do something special. So I don't want to give away too much just yet, but I think I can ping the Primal Conqueror next turn if I get a chance. I need another land to do it. This is fun. It's all redirected, buddy. Yeah. I shouldn't be mean, though. This player's been really nice so far, but they don't understand the Brash Taunter. And I can win next turn because I can just do 2 hits on the Primal Conqueror. Which is why I really like this deck. Because it can do stuff like this. So this is kind of a fun match because even though they stole my Phyrexian Vindicator, which they probably, maybe not knowing what that creature does, they should have been attacking, even though I don't think they knew I had the Chosen out and it would have just redirected. But based on them not knowing what the Brash Taunter did, I don't know if they really realized what the Phyrexian did too. So I'm surprised it didn't attack. But usually when somebody casts this, they feel it's like game over. And I would have, if I were them, I would have flipped this like as soon as you get a chance, because you want your creatures to be indestructible if you can make them indestructible, because there's so much removal in this game. And at least it takes away half of the removal, because most of the removal is destroy. You know, you got sacrifice and you got exile and you got board wipes. But I mean, if you remove a third of the spells from the game that could get rid of the threat, you know, why not do it? And they had the mana to flip it. It costs 9 mana and plus the damage mana, and they had it. So that they should have flipped this as soon as they could. It wouldn't have helped them though, because with the damage redirect, I wouldn't have gotten the poison counters. So when the damage was done to me as a player, it redirects to this creature. So they would never do damage to the player, and I would have been safe from the poison counters. So the only way I was going to lose this was an exile board wipe or massive amounts of disenchant. And with 1 white mana, that's unlikely. So this one was kind of a lockdown. But it's why I find this deck to be so interesting, because, I mean, if a Phyrexian Vindicator, 2 Terrors of the Peak, and the Primal Conqueror in play, like this is almost a guaranteed I mean, I don't even want to say almost. This is a guaranteed win. This is a winning creature combo unless somebody can board wipe. And defeated it without even taking a point of damage. And let's see, when this creature enters... Why is this creature so expensive? You get a 3/3 dinosaur token, and it's got forest cycling, but it's 7 mana for a 5/5. And now that I'm taking a look at this, I'm just kind of wondering if that's a card I would put in my deck. I guess the forest cycling is what makes it expensive. Yeah, this is a land grab right here. If you do search your library, let's see, you may sacrifice a land. If you do get, so it's a land grab by sacrificing a land. Huh. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure. Like, you want to pack your graveyard full of lands, maybe? I would rather have the lookout, you know? You got reach, and it just pulls a regular land, you know? What did we get with this? I think we got the dual land, red and green. What was this enchantment doing when this enchantment enters? Oh, this is like the one that they put out that did the 4 points of damage. Okay, and then it eventually what becomes the creature or something? Yeah, 5/5. So is this one. Enters or attacks. Oh yeah, so I kind of forgot about this. He was also doing damage with the Overlord. But yeah, again, like if you're gonna ping the Brash Taunter or the Brash Taunter with the Chosen, you ping the player, it's all coming back at you. So big damage decks. As long as you get a little bit of ramp, like stand almost no chance. Let's do one more, and then I gotta go back to work. All right, finding a partner. It's cool, little background. Oh, interesting avatar. I don't think I've seen that one. All right. Yeah, we do have. I usually go with just as long as I got 2 land and a ramp. This usually can go all right. You know, again, if you don't have 1 casting cost mana spells, these dual lands rock because you know you put them out first turn. It's no penalty, but you get a dual land. Gonna take a point of damage to get our mana ramp out. So we're hurting right now without a land. That's one of the weaknesses of this deck, is most everything is 4 casting cost. We can play the tutor, give away our strategy early. I got lots of removal with black, so we'll see what happens. I need that land, or I'm just going to get eaten up. See, drawing cards. At least we're not getting like super wide. And we got our. See, this is why I like the lookout. You know, cheap mana, and you get your land out there. Now I can cast almost anything from the hand. Just getting those biggies out there. Alright, so we're gonna challenge whether or not they have the removal by putting Secret Grot out. This gives us the ability to kill the Null Priest. Could block Edgar, but I actually will let it go through if he attacks so I can get the full... Okay, here comes the removal. Destroy. Oh, he's gonna attack everything, so I kinda gotta block. Yeah, in trouble, but we'll see. We can get the Brash Taunter out now, which gives us a blocker. This is all gonna depend on if he's got Exile. If he's got Exile, we pretty much lost. Just creating more vampires. We don't really care about that. So it can do 6 damage. Take 4 while doing it. Scratch Pump is redirecting. Alright, so I couldn't get any hexproof out, so we're vulnerable. You know, Disenchant will just take us down outright. But we put up a good fight. You know, didn't just get flat out owned. Oh, loss of life. This this is the other part of the weakness of this deck. Thankfully, the loss of life is directed at them. But we can get this out there. We got a little bit of hexproof now. I'm going to be conservative so I don't tap and leave the Brash Taunter open. I probably should have put Sagrada out first, but I took a risk because if Sagrada gets pinged, then you lose enchantment hexproof. So unless they can hit me for life loss, this is complete and total lockdown now. I got hexproofed, everything on the board, and complete damage redirect back to the player. But this is a vampire deck, so I have to look out for loss of life, which is really common when you're fighting black and vampires. Got me down to 2, so I basically got like 1 or 2 turns if they pull off some kind of life loss. Okay, start hitting them with the damage lands now. Get the conduit out. So if mana does manage to ping anything, we do have a way to get things out of the graveyard now. I think he's starting to realize that we're locked down here. And I do have the Brash Taunter locked and loaded now with Death Touch from Saraith, so we can start taking out creatures. I want to prioritize anything that comes into play with life loss, and speaking of life loss, there's the realization that it's likely over unless they have some kind of exile board wipe. So again, you know, it's like you're really outmatched with the you know, getting out there early with Menace, getting a big 4/4 out, getting wide with 5 creatures, but you know, you can get down to that like 2 and 3 life and just get the Chosen out, and as long as you're able to avoid their removal, just sit back and watch the damage, you know, get redirected. And yeah, with that, you know, my break's over, gonna head back over to work, so hopefully this was a couple of fun games to watch for the future.